My girlfriend has a confession. She doesn't like Life is Strange, which doesn't make a lot of sense. How does a trans woman not like the queerest game known to man? It's very simple as to why. She wasn't the right age demographic. I, however, definitely was, and I fell in love with the game the moment the first episode dropped. Not only did I fall in love with the game, but I also fell in love with the characters, especially one named Chloe Price. I developed such an infatuation with her that I dyed my hair blue. But my crush on Chloe Price is besides the point. I want to share a story that means a lot to me with you guys. And the best way to do that, of course, is by making a video. Starting out in third person of a girl named Max, we're in a nightmare of her town in chaos from a storm. Max makes her way up towards a lighthouse that she sees in the distance, and at that lighthouse, it's revealed to her that her town is being destroyed by a hurricane tornado. And right next to the lighthouse is a boat that smashes directly into the top of the lighthouse, and that lighthouse bit crashes down, breaks off, and falls onto her. Maxine gets knocked light out and immediately wakes up in class. Realizing she had a nightmare, Max looks around her classroom and tries to examine her surroundings. She watches someone's phone go off, someone throw paper at a student, and general random not paying attention in class nonsense. So reasonably so, Max decides, I just had a bad dream. I'm gonna take a selfie real quick with my Polaroid camera. And so she does that. You wanna know what happens? This is what happens.
Seriously, though, I could frame any one of you in a dark corner and capture you in a moment of desperation. And any one of you could do that to me. Shh. I believe Max has taken what you kids call a selfie.
Mr. Jefferson then goes on to talk about Daguerrean types. Mr. Jefferson is her teacher, by the way. He goes on to talk about Daguerrean types, and he asks Max what it is called. She doesn't have the answer, but Victoria, her bully, does. Max is totally stuck in the retro zone. Sad face. And afterwards, class is over, and she finally goes to the bathroom to splash water on her face. In the bathroom, Max remembers that there is a contest coming up where she has to submit a photo for the Everyday Heroes contest. She decides to tear up that photo, and when she does, a butterfly flies in. She views this as a new opportunity to take a better photo, and she takes a photo of that blue monarch butterfly. As she does, a boy enters the bathroom.
Don't stress. You're okay, bro. Just count to 3. Don't be scared. You own this school. If I wanted, I could blow it up. You're the boss. So what do you want?
I hope you check the perimeter, as my step-ass would say. Now, let's talk business.
I got nothing for you.
Wrong. You got hella cash.
That's my family, not me.
The writing in this scene is probably some of the best writing in this game. Excluding this one, of course.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra? Maybe not.
The conversation quickly goes south, and Nathan pulls a gun on the girl. She pushes him away and tells him to get the gun away from her. He then shoots her, and she falls over. And considering he shot her in the stomach, it's safe to assume that she did not make it. Max then reaches her hand out, and as she does, she winds back up in her chair and waking up from class. Max is terrified. Everything is happening the exact same way as she remembers it just happening, and she thinks maybe she can rewind time. Interesting conclusion, but it's because Victoria's phone rang, don't worry. There was a solid reason. In shock, Max accidentally knocks over her camera. She reaches her hand out once more, and when she does, she finds that her camera reverses back exactly where it was placed. Since she can now reverse time, Max decides to follow the steps she followed to get to the bathroom in the first place. That way, she can successfully get to the bathroom and save the blue-haired girl who got shot. So, she takes a selfie. Mr. Jefferson then interrogates her again about taking a selfie in class and asks her about the Daguerrean process. This time, she's able to answer the question since she's heard it before. I guess Victoria's stuck in the retro zone. Happy face. She then makes her way to the bathroom to tear her photo up again.
Don't stress. You're okay, bro. Just count to 3. Don't be scared.
Pause. Yes, you've seen this before. And the reason I'm replaying it is because we have to watch it in the game a second time. And so you have to deal with it too.
If I wanted, I could blow it up.
Hi. I don't care what Sai says. Ignore him. While this is all going down, Max is standing next to a fire alarm, and she's finding a way to break it open so she can pull it down and make sure the fire alarm goes off to save this girl's life. And she does it over the course of like 5 alternate universes. Bam! She presses the fire alarm, and then everyone evacuates the building. She takes a few extra seconds because she doesn't want to get caught by Nathan. And when she does, she gets interrogated by David. Well, the security guard. That's the word. On her way out of the building, the principal pulls her aside and asks what she saw in the bathroom because she looks a little shaken up. You have the option to either lie to the principal or tell him the truth. Personally, when I chose my playthrough, I chose to tell the principal what I saw. Max gets a text from her friend Warren asking for a USB drive that she had borrowed, so she goes to her dormitory so she can collect that USB drive. When she tries to enter the dormitories, Victoria and her goons are sitting on the steps. They refuse to let her pass. So, Max does what any sane person does, and tampers with the paint bucket so that it spills all over Victoria's new cashmere coat, and then takes a photo of her and bullies her for it. Or optionally doesn't, it's up to you. The choice is entirely up to you. You could be nice to her too. Regardless of what you choose, Victoria lets you go through, and then you get to go and grab that USB drive. Psych, that USB drive has been taken by one of your friends, Dana. So you go to grab it from Dana, and Dana is locked in her room by a girl named Juliet. Juliet Watson, I believe. Juliet is under the belief that her boyfriend is cheating on her with Dana, and the reason that she believes this is because Victoria said so. You sneak into Victoria's room and get the evidence that she was the one who was actually cheating. And then you show it to Juliet. Juliet lets Dana free, and you can grab the USB drive. When doing so, you find out that Dana had an abortion. She now trusts you. You then go to the parking lot where you meet with Warren. He does suggest that he wants to be more than friends, and you turn that down immediately. Warren and Max are rudely interrupted by Nathan. Hey Max, I know you ratted me out for having a gun. I know it was you. Don't ask how, I just know, and I'm gonna get you for it. Nathan then attacks Warren because Warren tries to defend Max. And as Max is watching Warren get attacked, a truck comes up and it goes and almost hits Max, which is such dangerous driving for a parking lot. Like, what the Max and this girl seem to know each other, and the reason I think that they know each other is because they both go, Max, Chloe, sorry.
Max?
Chloe? Leaving Warren to be destroyed by Nathan, Max gets into Chloe's car and they drive off into the sunset. During the drive to Chloe's house, Chloe explains that she felt abandoned once having been close friends, being completely ignored once Max moved to Seattle. Max simply replies that she returned to Blackwell for Mr. Jefferson because she really likes Mark Jefferson because he's really cool and a really good teacher, I guess. Max discovers that her camera broke and she's unable to fix it. Chloe says that she has tiny tools in her stepdad's garage and he will be able to supply those for her. Then they make it to Chloe's house. In Chloe's room, Max discovers a bit more information about Chloe's current life. Max finds a bunch of help wanted posters and photos of a missing girl. Her name is Rachel Amber. This was Chloe's best friend. Max then goes to the garage to collect the tools to repair her camera. Though while she's down there, she discovers that the house is being monitored via cameras through the garage. David is the only one who knows about this. Max is unable to repair her camera, and Chloe gives Max her father's camera. Just as they start eat cereal and having a good time together, they get interrupted by Chloe's stepdad. Chloe's stepdad is the same person who was lecturing Max earlier. He's the security guard at Blackwell Academy. He gets on their asses for smoking weed, and then they sneak out through the window to go back to the lighthouse where they used to hang out as children. Max and Chloe leave to visit the lighthouse, and Max blacks out and sees herself at the lighthouse during a storm. During that storm, however, she finds a newspaper that says that this happens Friday. When she wakes up, Max confides in Chloe about her powers, and though it's sunny, it snows. Chloe's response is, "This is either climate change or a storm is coming." The next chapter begins with Max waking up to go brush her teeth and take a shower. She stops to talk with Dana and the friend who borrowed the USB drive, and they talk about some girl stuff or something. I actually don't remember what they talk about, and I didn't write it down in my notes. Then we go to the bathroom where we find Victoria and her goons writing the URL to Kate's video. Kate is a good Christian girl who's very put together and tries to keep to herself. Except one night, she took a sip of wine at a Vortex Club party and started groping individuals. She doesn't remember doing this, but there's a video of it, and she's been getting bullied for this video. After Max's shower, Kate and Max talk about how Kate was actually by possibly Nathan Prescott. And Kate asks if she should go to the police, and you can choose to say yes or choose to say no. I will say, given what we know about Nathan so far, he would not be above her. And given what we know in general about cops, we should gather more evidence. So I choose to gather more evidence because I don't really trust cops like that. Afterwards, Max goes over to the Two Whale Diner so she and Chloe can meet up. Chloe and Max then meet at the Two Whales Diner. There, Max shows off that she has powers to Chloe. The way she does this is by predicting the next few events that happen throughout the diner. Then, Chloe and Max go to the junkyard. Before you leave to go to the junkyard, Kate calls you. And when she calls you, it's to talk about the conversation you guys had earlier and how she feels about it. If you deny the phone call, Chloe's happy, but if you do choose to answer the phone and talk to Kate, which you should because you don't owe Chloe all of your time, Chloe gets extremely upset and says that you're betraying her, you're being a bad friend, and you prefer Kate over her. It's classic manipulation, and it's one of the main reasons I don't like Chloe. At the junkyard, Chloe and Max discover a bunch of beer bottles. They collect them, and Chloe whips out a gun. She plans to shoot them after she finishes this last drink. Throughout multiple variations of timelines, where you constantly rewind time to prevent her from accidentally shooting herself, you guide Chloe to shoot each bottle individually. Then, you pass out. After Max wakes up, they have a heart-to-heart about how Chloe cares about Max and doesn't want her to overexert herself. They get so rudely interrupted by Frank, their drug dealer. Now I'm going to recreate one of the scenes from the game. Hi, I'm Frank, and I'm gonna hit you with my knife if you don't give me my $10,000 that you owe me. I'm Chloe, and I am so shocked at this. Why do you have my girlfriend's bracelet? I'm Frank again, and it's because I was given it. Bitch word. You're lying. You're lying. Then Max is given the option to shoot Frank. I'm not kidding. That's actually an option. You can shoot Frank and you fail because the gun isn't loaded. Chloe used all the bullets. And then you guys go and sit on a train track because that's a smart decision after drinking beer. Chloe's foot gets stuck. This is my surprised face. Yeah, you save her. She almost dies like a bajillion times and you have to rewind over and over and over and over again because in so many different alternate universes she gets hit by that train. Max and Chloe then go back to the truck and Chloe drops Max off at school. There, Mr. Jefferson asks you where Kate is. You notice she's missing and you don't know where she is. When class starts, it's rudely interrupted by a student who says something is going down at the girls' dormitories. You go to the girls' dormitory property and all of the students, including you, see a girl on the roof. Kate is standing at the top of the building, and before you can do anything, she jumps. You rewind time, and you watch her jump again. You try to rewind time over and over until you eventually freeze time. Max then makes her way to the roof. Max's powers are completely stuck. She's no longer able to rewind time, and she's no longer able to freeze time. What she says here matters. If you bring up Kate's mother, unfortunately, she chooses to no longer be with us. But if you choose talking about her father, she does hear you out. And when she hears you out, you have the ability to save her life. Understandably, you're then questioned by the authorities, including your principal. Mr. Jefferson, the security guard, and Nathan are all there. And you have the option to get either faculty member suspended or Nathan suspended. Nathan was bullying Kate. Mr. Jefferson was ignoring Kate's bullying, and David Madsen was insulting Kate and interrogating her. That's unfortunately the end of episode 2. Starting off the chapter, we find Max laying on her desk as she just woke up from a nightmare about Kate. Max gets a text from Chloe asking her to sneak out of the school. Max and Chloe sneak out together in front of the school where they stand together. While doing this, they see Miss Victoria and Mr. Jefferson standing there, talking about the winners of the photo contest that's going on. If you don't pick me to win the contest, then I'm going to tell everyone we had an affair. What the freak, Victoria? That's not cool. That's a lie. And you come on. That's a lie, dude. That's a lie. We would never. I'm a teacher. I'm your teacher. That's weird. Max and Chloe wait for the conversation to be over, and then they sneak into the building. In the building, Chloe asks if they can go into the principal's office. Max agrees, and they try to, but there's a lock on the door. Instead of coming up with a solution to break the lock safely, Max asks Warren over text how to make a bomb. Max then goes through the school and collects the items she needs and blows up the door. The way she gets around the security and fire alarms going off, however, is by going into the room and then rewinding time to before she blew up the door. That way, she never did it in the first place. After rewinding time, Max and Chloe discover a lot of paperwork in the principal's room. They do discover some drawings from Nathan, and those drawings say Rachel in the dark room over and over again. One of the things they find while they're looking around in the room is $10,000 for a disability fund. Chloe wants to take it. It's up to you if you want to take it or not. And considering the end of the game, I always go for stealing the money. Afterwards, Chloe and Max go into the swimming pool area and start to swim. They have a conversation, and in the end, you're allowed to kiss if you want. I personally avoid them kissing because I think Chloe is a bad influence on Max. Security is called, and they have to escape through a stealth mission where they have to avoid the light from the flashlights. They escape together and make their way to Chloe's house. That morning, Chloe and Max reek chlorine, and so Max and Chloe both take showers, and Max has to go back to school, but she doesn't want to wear the clothes that reek of chlorine, so she borrows some of Rachel's clothes that were in Chloe's closet. This is when the infamous ready for the mosh pit shaka bra comes in. Chloe and Max go to a diner. There, they find Frank's RV. Chloe has the bright idea to break into it, and Max needs to get the keys to do so. So, Max goes into the diner and talks to Frank, talks to Nathan, and talks to a cop to gather evidence and information. She rewinds time and then talks to Frank again. This is when you have the option to pour beans on Frank.
I was eating those beans.
Do it. You can reverse time then, I guess, because otherwise you'll get beaten up. But then when you reverse time again, you can then take his keys from him when he takes it out to show you a picture of Rachel or his dog or something. And then you go back to the RV with the keys. When you open the RV, the dog comes out because he has a dog, and you have the option to kill his dog or not. Now, why would you kill the dog? Hello, oh no. Hello, gamers. It is me. I'm definitely gonna play Life is Strange today. It's a really good game. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's got a really cool Tumblr sexy man in it, from back yonder. It's also got lesbians, so I heard it's gonna be a good game. So we should just get right into it. All right, let's go back to. Oh man, this isn't the game that I thought it was. This isn't Life is Strange. This is Honey Pop. I can't play this on twitch.tv/Cyradical. That's against guidelines. Oh no. Twitch.tv/Cyradical can't have this on it. Oh no. I really hope nobody goes to twitch.tv/Cyradical where they can possibly see me play other games that isn't this one, because I could never play this one on twitch.tv/Cyradical. That's twitch.tv/Cyradical. 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 Please check him out. Chloe and Max go into Frank's RV. There, they discover Frank had been in an intimate relationship with Rachel, and she posed for him in photos. Though she's 18, it feels weird to me. Given the fact that Rachel was cheating on Chloe and being groomed by Frank, Chloe's understandably upset, and she takes Max back to her place. When she does, she complains about everything being awful due to her father dying, and wishing she could go back in time to stop him from getting into a car accident. When they get home, Chloe looks at the photo that Chloe's dad took the day he died, and Max focuses on it hard. And as she does, she can hear it speak to her. Max is suddenly in the photo exactly how it was. Turns out she's gone into the past and can change the future. Max takes the dad's car keys and throws them outside, making sure he can't drive that day. And then she goes on to talk about the qualities of public transportation. Because honestly, they're really good. You should look into them and try out some public transportation yourself. Time resumes in the present, and Max wakes up in the Vortex Club. Victoria is concerned about Max, asking if she's okay and if she's upset at her. Big switch up from the retro zone, but okay. Max gets a grasp of where she's at and goes to Chloe's house to check on her, and her father answers the door. Max is excited to see Chloe. Chloe rolls up in a wheelchair, and the chapter ends. The episode begins with Max and Chloe going on a stroll at the beach, and Chloe says that she wants to be treated like normal, so because of Chloe's wishes, I will proceed as if this is a normal episode. There's whales all along the coastline, and we essentially ignore it. Chloe explains that she got into a car accident that left her paralyzed. This was after her father gave her a new car, and she was excited to drive it. In my notes, I have a quote from Chloe that says, "After that snow and eclipse, it seems like the end of the world. Girl, there are beached whales in front of you." What do you mean the snow and eclipse? There's beached whales in front of you. They're all across the coastline too. It's not just like one or two beached whales. No, it's just all down. Like you can see it throughout the entire bay. There's just whales everywhere. They go to Chloe's house and I believe they watch Blade Runner. Max insists that Chloe's gonna fall asleep super fast, and big shocker, in the morning she wakes up and gives her shit for it. They have a really wholesome moment where they reminisce about the old times. And I honestly ship this version of Chloe and Max. I think Chloe is a good influence on Max for this one. In all universes, Chloe's a vibe killer because she explains to Max that nobody really hangs out with her anymore. And not only that, but her parents are in severe medical debt and Chloe doesn't want to be around anymore. She's in too much pain and she's just putting off the inevitable. She asks Max to put her out of her misery with assisted. I personally deny it, as I don't want to fuck over this universe's version of Max by committing murder, and Max sits there and stares at a photo. It's the same photo that she took to change this universe in the first place. Max goes back in time with the photo, and she makes sure that Dad can find his keys this time. Next thing Max knows is Chloe and her are searching for more information on what happened to Kate, Rachel, and what happened to Chloe. By the way, something happened to Chloe I'll get into in a bit. Somewhere along in the last episode, Max rats out David for having cameras in the house and he gets kicked out of his home. You can also make him lose his job, but I feel that Nathan getting suspended was just so much better that I chose that option. Max and David have a conversation right before he leaves the house, where Max explains that she didn't want to make his family broken up, but it happened anyway. Max then goes into David's garage and finds more information. After she does, they go to the dorms. On their way to the dorms, Chloe meets Mr. Jefferson, and she realizes, damn, Mr. Jefferson. After they do that, they make their way to Nathan's room. In Nathan's room, they find evidence that Chloe was drugged by him and photographed without her consent, and they also find a burner phone. They leave, and as they do, they run into Nathan. He knows they were in their room. Damn! Warren pops out of nowhere and beats the shit out of Nathan, and it's so deserved. You get the option to, stop him from hurting him too much, but honestly, it's Nathan. He deserves it. So you let him. Nathan lays on the ground like a little bitch, and Chloe takes his gun, which is good. By the way, Nathan had a gun and still lost a fight. Max tells Warren to look into Nathan's dad, and they go their separate ways. This amounts to nothing. They don't find any information from Warren. Warren is feeling alpha.
I'm feeling pretty alpha now.
Max and Chloe go to Frank, and you can seriously fuck him up when you go to Frank this time. You can shoot him, you could shoot his dog, or you can stab him. I'm God, and I decide the lore for this video, and I decide that nothing happens to anyone, and they just get the information they need without any issues. They discover the location of a barn that Nathan is tied to, and at that barn, they find an underground bunker. They find a photography setup, and photos of Kate, Rachel, and an empty folder labeled Victoria. In the folder for Rachel, they find photographical evidence of Rachel's murder and her body placement, which is at the junkyard. Chloe and Max go to the junkyard and uncover Rachel's body. There, they finally have all the proof they need to go to the cops, and they don't. That night, they go to the Vortex Club party. Chloe wants to exact revenge immediately, but Max tries to calm her down. There's 2 moons out, showing that the 2 timelines are cracking, and Warren is completely wasted and takes a selfie with Max. It's actually kind of funny. You can go into the bathroom at one point, and you can find the designated stoner, Justin, and he asks Max, someone who doesn't smoke at all, if she wants to take a dab, which honestly is very girlfriend-coded. My girlfriend would do that. And I just want to shout her out real quick because that's really funny and something she would do. Anyway, at the party, Max runs into Victoria and she tries to warn Victoria about Nathan. And Victoria actually responds well to this and she's like, Nathan has been a little freaky lately, so I'm going to listen to you. Victoria gets announced as the winner for the Everyday Heroes contest. And then on their way out to go back to Chloe's house, Chloe gets a text saying that Nathan is destroying all the evidence. Chloe and Max go to the junkyard to confront him, and then Chloe is shot. Max is knocked out and unable to rewind, and as she passes out... How about I show you instead?
Oh, no. Chloe, look out.
What the fuck?
So, when I showed you guys this picture right here, did you notice anything weird about it? During the clip where Max takes the selfie, did you listen to anything weird about it? Because the hints were right there. I did make sure you would be able to know, but if you didn't already play the game, maybe you missed it. I hope not. I hope you caught it because his gloves... I'm being a little hard on you guys. Don't worry, I missed it too at first. It was a big shocker when it came out, but all the hints were there. We all could have predicted it if we just didn't get blinded by how pretty he was. I'm editing Cy. I just wanted to say really quickly that he's not pretty to me, but do you guys remember when the game came out and he was a Tumblr sexy man? That's what I'm talking about. I just want to clarify. He's just a guy. Anyway, this is where the chapter ends. Max wakes up, tied up in a chair, half conscious, with cameras all around her. She's in the dark room. Victoria is unconscious next to her. She looks around and tries to figure out what's going on. She sees a cart with a photo on it. She detaches her foot from the chair and pulls it towards her. She sees the photo, and the photo is of her laying down and drugged. She takes that photo and zooms into it. She goes into the past, where she can be a little bit more alert. And Mr. Jefferson is there, and he explains that Nathan tried to mimic Jefferson's art style with Kate and Rachel, but was too clumsy. And Mr. Jefferson is using past tense in reference to Nathan, insinuating that he's dead. Max convinces Mr. Jefferson to show her the picture she took in class in the first episode, that selfie that he called out. She uses it to go back in time and text David the address and ask him for help. Luckily, David has been doing his own research and understands the situation. Max also submits her photo to the Everyday Heroes contest, talks to Victoria about how she's a shitty person, and also comforts Kate. Back in the present, Max wins the Everyday Heroes contest and is on a plane with her principal. Chloe and Kate are both alive and well and cheering Max on. Max is screwing around with the timelines too much, though, and she has a nosebleed. And then, next thing she knows, she's at the art gallery. At the art gallery, she passes out and gets visions of a storm. And then she checks her phone, and she gets a bunch of messages from Chloe saying that the storm is still happening. Max goes further back in time to when she took the original photo that she submitted, and she tore it up. Max ends up back in Jefferson's basement, and David saves Max's life. Max calls Warren and asks if he has that photo they took the night of the Vortex Club party. He does, so she goes to the Two Whale Diner during a hurricane, just so she can get to that photo. As Max drives to the Two Whales Diner, she receives a voice message from the night before. That voice message is from Nathan. It's a sincere apology from him, and he tries to warn Max about everything.
Message received yesterday at 9 p.m.
Max, it's Nathan. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt Kate or Rachel or I didn't want to hurt anybody. Everybody used me. Mr. Jefferson is coming for me now. All this shit will be over soon. Watch out, Max. He wants to hurt you next.
Unfortunately, this is the last thing we ever hear of Nathan. While Max makes her way to the Two Whales Diner, she saves the lives of multiple people, including Alyssa and Evan, two people that she goes to school with. The rest are mainly strangers. Once she gets there, she has to put out a fire before it explodes the Two Whales Diner entirely. And she finds that the homeless woman that people used to theorize was her is dead, and Max is very distraught about this. But she moves on, and she goes into the Two Whales, where she can talk to Warren. There, she explains she has the power to rewind time, and she's not sure what's going on. Warren explains to her that it's something about chaos theory. The moment you can rewind time, something bad is going to happen. Max explains that she needs the photo so she can rewind time, and Warren says he's proud of her. Max and Warren then hug. Max then goes through once more to the past, and there she tells Chloe everything, that she was drugged by Mr. Jefferson, that Nathan is already dead, and that it was all secretly Mr. Jefferson. Chloe doesn't believe you at first, but after multiple rewinds, you eventually do get her to understand what's going on and the severity of the situation. She then takes you to the beach, and you wake up there. You're confused, but you know where you are, and you pass out again. And when you wake up again, you're at the lighthouse. But during that transition from the beach to the lighthouse, you go through a nightmare sequence. I bonked my camera. If I'm being completely honest, I don't like the dream sequence. It's kind of boring to me, and it's very confusing. But it's basically just Max's inner monologue about how she feels as though she couldn't pick a side and she's struggling with her bisexuality and the fact that she failed Kate. Max wakes up again. She's at the lighthouse this time with Chloe, and Chloe's coming to the realization that this is all happening because she's still alive. Chloe says the best way to make sure everyone in Arcadia Bay is safe is to just have her get shot by Nathan. That is when you can make the decision to either sacrifice Arcadia Bay or sacrifice Chloe. For interest of the plot, I understand why some people would say they'd sacrifice Arcadia Bay. See, Chloe is a wonderful person once you can get past all her negative traits, and she's very alluring in a relationship with Max. It's a very cute relationship dynamic. That being said, I can't look over all of her negative traits, and this is the one redeeming quality she has. So, bye, Chloe. Max then has to witness Chloe get shot, and then go to her funeral, and then go to Joyce and David and pretend like she never knew Chloe as an adult. And in reality, they had just spent a most definitely life-changing week together. Life is Strange is a long game, obviously, and it's a very story-driven game at that. It deals with heavier topics, and it's one of the first games in my life to show queer relationships, and it helps me come to terms with my own bisexuality. It focuses on topics that most games gloss over, and it makes you believe every choice you make has a right and wrong option. Each character has deep flaws and makes them feel, aside from the writing, real. And it's not like Telltale. Most choices affect the outcome of the game. Yes, in the end you only get two options, but before that it affects everything. There's small details that constantly change. There's cameras around Blackwell suddenly. Alyssa might not trust you in the end of the game if you don't save her from getting hit in the head over and over again, which I haven't even mentioned in the story because it's so irrelevant to the plot, but it's just a nice little detail that you can pay attention to if you want to. That was so funny, Cyrus. What was your favorite part of the game? Well, my favorite part was when Nathan gets beat up by Warren. Mine too. Mine too. Although, I don't like how Cyrus was low energy. Me too. I wonder if his other content is like that. Phew, I hope not. That would suck. Maybe we should watch his other content. Man, I sure hope he made a Dishonored video. That would be really cool. I also really like Resident Evil. I wonder if he's making one of those, too. That's the end of the video. I don't have anything else to say. But the next Life is Strange is about two brothers who accidentally kill their father and run from the cops. It's a lot more fun than this one, I will say that. Goodbye!